No answers, guys? No answers from Kapil and Pradakshina? You all are not in the mood to have a conversation? It's like having a conversation through like Zoom chat. So let me know how you guys are doing. Let me know if this is your first masterclass with us. If that's the case, then welcome. Hope you have an amazing evening. And we'll wait for everyone else to join and then we'll start in about like 10 minutes. So, yeah. Meanwhile, if you all have any questions, like I'm guessing that you'll have joined a masterclass because you all have started, preparing for SATs or you're looking into giving SATs. So if you have any questions regarding your ICTs, regarding college applications, college admissions, universities, or which field you're pursuing about that in detail, you can ask in the chat box and I'm here to answer all your questions. Kapil, you've raised your hand. Is there a question you want to ask? You can just type it in the chat box, guys. I'll read out your question and I can answer it. And it can be like about anything related to college admissions and SATs, anything at all. I'll give you all a minute to respond, please. Meanwhile, Ankit has joined. Hi, Ankit. How are you doing? I'm guessing, Ankit, it's your first masterclass with us. So welcome. You can type in the chat box. We can have a conversation. You can ask questions regarding SATs, college admissions, applications, anything that pops up in your head. You can let me know in the chat box and I'll be able to answer it for you. So I'll give you all a minute to type it down. Meanwhile, the least you all can do is tell me how your day has been going, how you all have been doing. I think that's a pretty easy question to answer. Hi, Aisha. How are you doing? Good evening, Ankit. How are you? Hey, Aisha. How are you doing? And I think Kapil and Pradakshina are sleeping. You're doing well, Aisha. Glad to know. Aisha, I was just telling everyone that we're waiting for everyone else to join. But meanwhile, if there are any questions regarding your ICTs, your applications, anything at all, you all can let me know in the chat box and I'll be able to answer it for you. And if you all don't have a question for me, well, here's a question for you all. I'm pretty sure you all are, focusing towards your career or at least starting to focus on your careers. So first of all, let me ask you, what are you planning to do, or like what is your one dream college that pops up in your head whenever you think of your career? What's the one dream school that you want to get administered into? Let me know. Also, Pradakshina is asking, is SET math hard? Pradakshina, it's tricky. It's not hard, but it's tricky. So basically, SET math is not about equations. It's not about academics, but rather SET math is about logic. It's about how smart you work with the calculations or with the problems that are given to you. It's not difficult, but it's tricky. You'll have to apply more logic, more concept than you apply equations. So I think that's the difference between any other math entrance exam and SAT math. I hope I answered that for you, Pradakshina. Any other questions, guys? Yeah, you're most welcome. And good evening, Kapil. How are you? Yeah. So, guys, I asked you a question. List down your dream college for me. I want to know where you want to start your career with. So let me know your dream college. It can be anything, absolutely anything at all. And meanwhile, hi, Arid. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Is it Arid? Is it Arid Khan? But hi there. How are you doing? I see you've just joined. No other questions, guys? Otherwise, this will get boring very quick if you all don't have conversations with me. Kapil, thank you for typing it in the caps lock. I'm glad you're doing okay. What about the rest of you all? Guys, come on, list down your dream college. I don't think it should be that hard to list down your dream colleges. Hi, Aryan, you've just joined. Hi, Sahil, you also joined us. Hey, guys, to pursue neuroscience in Stanford. All right, Pradakshina, Stanford is ranked second in the global rankings of the world. And it's one of the, Stanford is one of the most competitive, but the most difficult colleges to get into. Neuroscience, Look, so neuroscience is a very it's a very narrowed down field. First of all, Prakash, I'm glad that you're, narrowing down your options. And neuroscience at Stanford. So the faculty at Stanford for all of the biology department, all the science department is really good, right? Of course, I mean it's Stanford. So yeah, I think Stanford is a perfect choice for neuroscience. One of the universities you can also look into if you're pursuing neuroscience is I think University of Austin, Texas is also really nice. You can also look into Harvard Medical School if you want to like pursue neuroscience over there. I think they have an option for neuroscience courses as well. So yeah, even Purdue University is very good for neuroscience, Pradakshina. So if you're looking into such options, all of these that I'm listing down are top 20 universities in the world. So yeah, but all the very best for Stanford. And Aisha is saying University of Melbourne. All right, it's in Australia. You know what the best part about Australian education is, Aisha? It's that so Melbourne University is competitive as a university, depending on your field. But Australian visas to get or Australian passports to get is fairly more easy than getting into US colleges or Canadian colleges because their visa process and their administration process is kind of difficult. So I think good choice. University of Melbourne is very well known. Aisha, meanwhile, you've also looked into which field you want to pursue at Melbourne. Let me know about that. Also, meanwhile, any other questions any of you all have? Or you all list down your colleges and I let you know, I'll give you advices on the colleges. We can do that as well if that's the kind of conversation we have. Zoology, okay, that's very interesting, Aisha. I really like how interesting your field is. All the very best. University of Melbourne is a good choice for zoology. Sahil is saying, how good is IT from Penn? Okay, so Sahil 10 is, I think, yeah, okay. Sahil 10 is an Ivy League college. It is ranked number 6th or 7th in the global rankings. Penn is an amazing university. And if you're pursuing IT, okay, to be very honest, Penn is known for business courses. Penn is also known for real estate courses and financial courses. If you're looking for IT, I feel like Stanford is going to be a good choice. Yeah. So, okay, fine. So if you're looking into just Penn State and not UPenn, even though, okay, so UPenn is an Ivy League, very correct. I got myself miscommunicated, I think. Sorry for that. And if you're talking about Penn State, still, most of the times that I've heard of UPenn as well as Penn, both of these colleges are much highly known for the business side of courses. But if you want to look into IT, I think California is a much better choice for IT. University of California, University of Texas, Austin is also a good choice. IT, I think, yeah, you can apply for Penn. Obviously, it's an individual choice. I'm giving you advice on how the faculty is because Penn faculties are known for business courses rather than for IT or computer science or coding courses. So, yeah, but you can obviously look into further details. But I would suggest University of California. The faculty is really good. So yeah. Meanwhile, what about the rest of you all? What's your dream college, guys? Let's have a conversation about that today. No other question? Even Sahil, even Carnegie and I think University of Columbia, all of these are also really good for IT. Is this for math or for English? First of all, hi Aru, how are you doing? And today is a math masterclass, Aru. Not an English masterclass. Our English masterclasses are hosted on Monday, Wednesday, these timings. So yeah, you're most welcome. Okay, guys. Meanwhile, we'll be starting in 2 minutes. If you all have any further questions regarding your SETs, colleges, universities, let me know, or regarding your field. I think I can advise you and help you through it as much as I can. If you have any questions, please type them down. Meanwhile, we'll be starting in 2 minutes. No question, guys? Okay. I see no questions. Yeah. I think Aru, you've not told me what your dream college is or what you're trying to pursue. Have you? I think you were there in the last masterclass as well. I would like to know. Meanwhile, Ankit, Aryan, first of all, hi Chandana, Kapil. We've not had answers from you guys. Aru, I was asking, what's your dream college? Hi Aryan, how are you? Aryan, please list down your dream college for me. Also, the neuroscience, I think it was Pradakshna. I'm right, Pradakshna, you were talking about neuroscience. Are you still in the meeting? If you're still in the meeting, Pradakshna, more colleges that you can look into is John Hopkins University. It's also really known for neuroscience. You can also look into King's College London. It depends on like whether you want to pursue UK or US education. I'm just listing down like the best universities in the world. I think Radboud Neuroscience University in, I think it's in US. That's also really good university for that. So yeah. Yep, Pradakshna. Oh yeah, Aru. I remember you had mentioned New York. And don't worry about jinxing it. Yes, you're most welcome, Pradakshna. All right, guys. Okay. So it's 4. I think it's time that we start our masterclass since you all have been waiting for it. Yep. So, first of all, most welcome to all of you to our math masterclass. And today we have Piyush Avasti sir with us. He's a mechanical engineer who's turned into an academician with 6 years of experience in the field of higher education and study abroad test preparations like GMAT, GRE, and SET. Through his experience as an expert in the study abroad test prep, Piyush sir has supported more than 10,000 students in their pursuit of achieving their dream schools abroad. An at-leap scholar, he's a trainer for ICT Math, and right from building your basics to your major concepts to giving you tips and tricks on how to save time on ICT Math, which is very important, and how to solve questions logically. He is here to ensure that you receive a perfect score of 800 in SAT Math. And yes, it is possible. So, with all that said, I welcome you, sir. And for the rest of you all, hope you have an amazing evening with us.
Thank you so much, Ume. And good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible to all. I just wanted to add on one thing that Ume was saying. Yeah, I taught for GMAT, GRE, SAT, and I've also taught for bank, SSC, and CAT. So this thing, Ume, you can also add on.
Yes,
Okay.
sir, absolutely.
Okay. Now, so I officially welcome you all to Leap Scholar. And once again, I'm excited to see you all. So, I can say that I'm even more excited than you to be a part of this class because I really like interacting you. I like teaching, new things. So especially to the new students, because I know that they are here to learn something. And maths is something that where we can show you some kind of tips and tricks. So everyone who is gathered here, definitely they are here to learn some tips and tricks in math, which you have not learned in your schools, neither in your home tuitions, right? And that is the objective. So here I will be showing you the cool tips and tricks, especially for SAT, because this is what you gathered here, right? But before I take you on directly to the tips and tricks, there are certain questions that I would like to ask you and have your views on it. Okay. So we are going to start with few questions here, and then we'll learn some cool tips and tricks. So starting with the first question on the screen, I'm expecting all of you to answer it in the chat box. The first question is, what do you have to fight for? You can select any option A, B, and C. And I'm just waiting to see your answers in the chat box. See, we all have gathered here for SAT, right? So keeping that aspect in mind, what do you think? What do you have to fight for? A good score, a good college, a good scholarship, or all of the above? So I think many answers are coming like all of the above. Now, that is why, I put this question on the screen because, see, out of A, B, C, don't you think that if I just fight for a good score, I automatically get a good college and I automatically get a good scholarship, isn't it? So a score is something that is going to decide that what kind or what category of college you are going to get and what is the amount of scholarship you are going to get. So the objective of taking this question here on the board is that, instead of running behind too many things, too many concepts, instead of running behind too many books, it is all we have to decide that which is the best source we have to run behind and which can bring us everything for us. So for example, all we need to worry about is getting a good score. Automatically, you get a good college and good scholarship. All right. Okay, moving on to the next one. So think about it. What do you need to ace SAT math? And people who do not know about SAT math, don't worry, we will be talking about it. But this is something who know something about it. So Ananya is saying it's D, sharp mind. Ananya, if you're saying that, okay, if you want to ace in SAT, then you need a sharp mind. But definitely every one of us is not same, right? God has not made everyone with the same capability. So does that mean that the one who is not going to have the sharp mind, they can't get a good score or they cannot ace in SAT? Is the SAT only mean for those people who have a sharp mind? See, if I talk about SAT is not a tough exam. Okay, it's not a difficult exam where you should feel like that, okay, if I'm good in maths or if I'm going to have a sharp mind, only then I will be able to ace SAT. No. Yes, Ananya, that is what I was expecting you. That SAT is not kind of that exam where you really need a sharp mind. All you need is not also hard work. Okay, I don't say it's a hard work. It's not kind of IIT JEE exam. All you need is a smart work. Okay, no hard work, no strong mathematics, no sharp mind. All you need is with some guidance and with some practice, you need to learn how to do smart work. And if you learn how to do smart work, you will ace in SAT. And this is why I'm here to show you how to learn it, how to do it. Okay. Because one more thing I wanted to add up here, many people who give SAT, they come from non-mathematical background. Okay, they are from biological background or they are from economics, commerce, something like that. They are not having maths as a main subject, but still they ace in SAT, right? Shalpreet will talk about which book you need to refer. Everything we'll talk about, just be with us. And by the end of the session, you will get to get the answers to all the questions. Okay. Okay. The third question comes on the screen. Which one best describes the definition of a smart work, according to you? Is it dress up smartly and then work? Or work without using pencil and paper? Is that a smart work? Or smart work is a work which is done with ease or the work completed on time? Out of the four, what do you think that is the best suited definition for smart work? Out of the four, if I ask you, which is the best suited definition? So definitely, smart work is something which is done with ease. Hard work is something where you have to pay a lot of efforts and then you get the result. But smart work is something you get the result, but with ease, right? And that is what we'll learn in today's class. How to get the result, how to ace in SAT just with easiness, just by doing the smart work. Okay, so that were few questions, and the objective of taking those questions is just to bring every one of you on the same page and to let you know that SAT is not a difficult exam. With proper guidance and with proper support and practice, you will be easily able to crack it and ace it. Now, before we move on and directly talk about the tips and tricks, it is very important to know the structure of SAT math. Okay, so if you talk about SAT maths, you have two sections in the maths. One is a no calculator section and second is a calculator section. As the name denote, in one you cannot use the calculator. In second, you can use it. The number of questions and the timing part is there on the board. Okay, in both the sections. So you can please look at it. And once you look at it, I think it is very easy for you to identify that you approximately is having only a minute to solve a question in the exam. Only a minute, right? So it's all about pacing yourself in the exam at the same time without losing any accuracy. And what all it takes to pace yourself to do the questions within a minute without losing any kind of accuracy. That is why we are gathered here to learn something about it. Okay. And I've seen many students come up and they ask me that what all is tested in SAT math. So if I tell you that SAT math tests you on linear equation, it tests you on quadratic equation, percentage, average, time distance, time and work, functions. So most of this, all that you see on the board, charts and data analysis, this is everything that you cover up in your 9th, 10th, and 11th, isn't it? Yes or no? So these all things are taught to us in 9th, 10th, and 11th, and that is why we say that SAT is mainly composed of 9th, 10th, and few part of your 11th grade, right? So now with this note, I think I have made you aware about the structure of the exam, what all is tested in the exam, and now it's the time to teach you some cool tips and tricks. Okay. So I request you all to please take out a pencil and paper, and then we'll all will sit together and we'll do it. What all you learn in today's class, you can make a note of it. Okay, moving on. A very simple question on the screen. What is the average of these numbers? But the difficulty is that you have only 30 seconds to answer this question. And that is by doing smart work, not by doing hard work. Every one of us knows how to find the average, right? The numbers are given. You have to tell me the average within 30 seconds just by doing a bit of smart work. Chandana is saying C, Aru is saying C. And people who have given the answers here, if you can also please write down the reason for saying your answer in just one word or two words. Why do you say that C has to be the average? Median. But is it true for all kind of series? So the point here is that if you just look at the series or the set of numbers carefully, you will easily find that the difference between 34 and 45, the difference between these two terms is 11. The difference between 45 and 56 is again 11. So which means the difference between all the consecutive terms which are shown here is 11. So we can call this as a evenly spaced series. Okay, evenly spaced series. And always remember that for a evenly spaced series, average is equal to the smallest term plus the largest term divided by 2. So the smallest term is 34 and the largest term is 100, which divide by 2, which is 134 divided by 2. That's going to be 67, and that's your average. And one more thing, that for a evenly spaced series, you can always say that average is equal to median. So guys, these are few things. If you remember them, you will be easily able to solve questions within seconds in a SAT exam. Okay. So what we have learned here that when we have a evenly spaced series, so for a evenly spaced series, average is simply smallest term plus largest term divided by 2. And that is also equal to the median of the series. Right? So that is first thing, how to work smartly. Now the second question. The cost of a coffee mug is $30. But if you buy them as a pair, the pair will cost only $46. What is the saving per mug if you buy them as a pair instead of 2 mugs separately? So I'm expecting many answers are coming out. Just So sorry. So only one answer from Palak. Ankit, Muskan, Ankita. Okay, Ankita is given. Ankita is given. Okay. Yes, Shalpreet, if you have any questions, you can please write it in the chat box. Okay, and that's great. Good to see you. So why this question is taken up here? Because, how do students do it in the exam? This is a SAT question, let me tell you. So student do like this. Okay, the cost of a coffee mug is 30, which means if you are going to buy two mugs separately, you have to pay 30 and 30, which means you have to pay 60. But if you just buy them as a pair, you have to pay only 46, right? Which means the saving that you are making, if you buy them separately, you have to pay 60, but if you buy them as a pair, you have to pay only 46, which means the saving that you are making is of $14. And many students mark, okay, the saving that we make is 14. But the catch here is the question is asking what is the saving per mug. So this is the saving that you are making is on two mugs, right? If you buy them as a pair. But the question is asking per mug. So per mug, it's going to be 7. And, it's good to see that many people has given this answer 7. So the point that I want to bring about with this question in SAT is that SAT gives you a lot of questions where if you are not going to read it carefully, you will fall into the trap answer. Many people will go for C. Why? If they are not going to read it carefully. So especially the one who are planning to give SAT in the May attempt, okay, because they don't have much time. So let me tell you guys that always and always you have to read and underline the actual question carefully, because I've seen many students falling into the trap answer just because of not reading the question carefully. This is what SAT does. Okay. Now, moving on to the next question. And again, the point here is to do a smart work and give me the answer within, let's say, 30 or 40 seconds. And the question goes like, coffee costing 80 per kg is mixed with sugar costing 60 per kg. The ratio of the coffee to sugar in the mixture is 3:7. What is the cost per kg of the mixture? So who is going to give me the answer? Anyone? I think it's more than 30 seconds now. And these is the questions that you get in, these kind of questions you get in a SAT exam, where you have to do without using the calculator, and you have to do it in a minute. Because let me remind you that this question comes in the no calculator section. And in that section, you have 20 questions and you have only 25 minutes to do them. So which means approximately not more than a minute for every question. Okay, so Palak has given the answer as D. So now it's my turn. Okay, now let me just teach you the smart approach for doing this question. So the smart approach here is that you know that we are talking about a coffee and we are talking about a sugar. We are talking about two things. And the cost of the coffee is 80 per kg. Okay. And the cost of the sugar is 60 per kg. This is given to us, and which is again, I'm just writing to explain you how to do smart work. And it is saying that we are mixing them. How we are mixing them? We are mixing them in the ratio 3:7, which means if 3 parts of coffee we take, then we take 7 parts of sugar. Right? So in the mixture that we are making, in this mixture, which part is more, guys? Sugar part is more or coffee part is more? Definitely the sugar part is more, right? This part is more. So tell me one thing. If I would have mixed coffee and sugar in the same proportion, let's say 3 part of coffee and 3 part of sugar, if I would have mixed, then what should have been the cost of the mixture? Think about it. If I mix coffee and sugar in the equal quantity, what do you think the cost of the mixture should be? How much? Don't you think it has to be between 60 and 80, nothing but 70? If you're just gonna mix them in equal parts, it has to be the average. Yes or no? But because you know that you are mixing sugar in more parts, so the cost of the mixture has to be closer to the cost of the sugar, isn't it? Because sugar is in more part. If you would have mixed in equal ratio, 1:1 or 2:2, something like that, it would have been in the middle. But because the sugar is more, so the total cost of the mixture has to be closer to the cost of the sugar. So it has to be closer to 60. And the answer, which is closer to 60, is nothing but 66, because 70 is exactly in the middle. This is only possible if the amount of sugar that you mixed is equal to the amount of coffee that you mixed. Only in that case, it would have been 70. It cannot be 70. Exactly, it cannot be 60, because you are not only having sugar in the mixture, you're also having some part of coffee. So the answer has to be closer to 66. Tell me, are you getting my point? Do we really need to do any kind of calculation or hard work here? And this is what is tested in SAT. Right? Yes or no? So Aryan, what I'm saying is that you are mixing coffee and sugar, right? And coffee is costing 80 per kg and sugar is costing 60 per kg. But if you just look at the ratio of the mixture, you know that you are mixing in the ratio 3:7, which means 3 part of sugar is mixed with 7 part of coffee. Sorry, 3 part of coffee is mixed with 7 parts of sugar, which means in this mixture that you make, the sugar is more. What is more? Sugar is more. So don't you think that the cost of the mixture has to be closer to the cost of the sugar, because sugar is more? So the cost of the mixture has to be closer to cost of the sugar, which is 60. And the only option which is closer to 60 is 66. Because 70, if you talk about, 70 is exactly in the middle of 80 and 60, isn't it? And that is only possible if the amount of sugar and amount of coffee are in the same ratio. Okay. So this is the smart bug. Okay, now here for this question. I think if you have solved that question, now you will be easily able to answer this question within seconds. These all questions that I'm taking on the board, let me tell you, they are SAT relevant questions. Okay. And you should try to give the answers within seconds. Any answers coming out? So the question goes like, Mr. Bill was invited for a dinner party. Okay, he left his house at 6 p.m. and traveling at a constant rate of 50 miles per hour. He reached the party at 8:45 in evening. He returned back to home at a rate of 60 miles per hour. What is his average driving speed for the entire trip? Aryan is saying it's B. Okay. I don't know how you have done it, but again, it's all about doing it smartly rather than doing it in a hard way. So the question goes like this, that he leaves the home at 6 p.m. and he's going to travel at a rate of 50 miles per hour. So let's say he's at home somewhere here. This is the home and he has to go for the party. Okay. Here's the party. Fine. And he's going to the party at a rate of 50 miles per hour. 50 miles per hour. But while he returned back from the party, he returned back at a speed of 60 miles per hour. And the question is asking, what is the average speed for the entire trip? Means he goes and then he comes back. So what is the average for the entire trip? So I can see many answers are coming like 55, because you are thinking that, okay, we have to find the average, and average is simply sum of two numbers divided by number of observation, which is 50 plus 60 divided by 2, and that's 55. That's the tempting answer, and you mark B, but that's a trap answer. 55 is not the correct answer. Okay, and that is why they give you this option, because they want you to fall for the trap answer. Now the point is how to do this question smartly. So just listen to me carefully and answer my question. You know that he goes to the party at a speed of 50 miles per hour and he returned from the party at a speed of 60 miles per hour. So my first question is, in which case he takes more time, when he goes to the party or when he returns from the party? In which case he's going to take more time? A simple question. When he goes to the party, you know, logically we can say that when he goes to the party, he takes more time. Why? Because he's traveling with 50 miles per hour, which is less than 60 miles per hour. So traveling with a lower speed takes more time to travel. So he will take more time. But while he's going to return from the party, he is going to take less time, right? So tell me, for the entire journey or for the entire trip, when he goes and comes back, for the entire trip, is he traveling for more time with a speed of 50 or with a speed of 60? If you consider the entire trip time, so for most of the time, he is going to travel with a speed of 50 or with a speed of 60. Simple question. The entire trip, let's say he goes and then comes back. So if you take the total duration of that total duration, definitely he's going to travel with 50 for more time than with 60 miles per hour. So don't you think that if we are talking about the average speed for the entire trip, the average has to be closer to 50 because he's traveling with 50 for more time. So the average has to be closer to 50 than 60. So here is 50, here is 60, and 55 is exactly in the middle. But you know that because he's traveling for more time with 50, so the average has to be shifted toward 50, slightly towards 50. And the only answer which is slightly towards 50 is option A. Yes or no? So again, without even doing any kind of work, any kind of calculation, now you can easily be answering these kind of questions, without having need to touch your pencil or paper. And this is called smart work. And that will help you solve all the questions in that given time frame. So are you getting what I'm trying to just teach you and tell you, everyone? Is there any questions, anyone? Tell me how many of you have learned these things. Is there anyone who has learned these things in tuitions or in schools, anywhere? Yes. Are you getting all these things or not? I'm not getting any reply in the chat box.
Guys, if you all don't reply to us, how are we supposed to understand whether what we're teaching is reaching towards you or not?
Yes, definitely. Aryan, you are not getting. Okay, what what you are not getting, Aryan, here?
I think Aryan is saying that no, he hasn't been taught this in school.
Acha. I think you are saying you don't have any doubt. Anyone else who has any suggestions or any questions, anything you want to ask? See, guys, let me tell you one thing. People who are really serious about SAT, okay, they have to really look for these kind of ways, because you can't just use the school ways and you can solve all the questions. And that is something I can give you in return. If you feel like you can use the school ways and can crack SAT, no, not gonna at all. It's been more than 6 years teaching a SAT student. I know. Okay, so learn for this, try to figure out where you can get these kind of small, smart work tips and tricks, and try to apply them on the questions or while you are doing practice. Okay, so before I move on, because I think you don't have any questions here, I would like Ume to come up and just tell you something about the course that we are offering you. So please,
yes.
Ume.
Absolutely. And before we move to the course details, guys, I would like to reiterate the fact that Sir still has a lot of questions for you all to solve. So please wait up. I am just going to come interrupt the class for like 5 minutes and let you know about what we provide. So moving on to the next slide, sir. Yes. So why choose us, right? So let me just take you through what we provide over here at Leap. There's 40 plus hours of classes, and these classes are all going to be live. They're not recorded classes. They're all very personalized, specifically curated for you. And the content that we have in our classes is very representative towards us. What this means is you're not going to find this content or this type of in-class training anywhere else in the market. With 10,000 plus practice questions at your click, which is like almost like 10,000 practice questions for you all to solve before you actually enter that examination hall and ace it, with one-on-one doubt solving. So you can see in the masterclass as well, it's just a glimpse of how sir is teaching. So whenever you all are having a doubt, if you're not understanding something, sir is always there to solve it for you and to make sure that you do understand it very correctly. So one-on-one doubt solving is also something we're very proud of. Moving on to the next slide. Yes, so personalized revision session. So this is something that is very unique to us that other classes in the market might not provide, is personalized revision session. So before your attempt, what we do is we sit with you, have specifically curated revision sessions with you on the concept that you need to further brush up on, or like the entire syllabus revision as well. So that's done before your attempt. So you're all very well equipped with your exam, and live personalized learning with experienced faculty. So who better to guide you towards your dream careers than someone who already has a lot of experience? And that is with our faculty. Piyush over here has more than 6 years of experience. There are professors with almost a decade of experience as well. So it's all very experienced, and we all focus on providing quality. And again, our sessions are live. They're not recorded sessions, so you get to like interact with the professors one-on-one. And coming to the next slide, so there's much more we still provide, is 30 plus mock tests with detailed feedback. So this is something that we guarantee is going to make sure that you get a score of 800, because we have 30 plus mock tests waiting for you. They are full length mock tests, and some of them we sit with you and solve it through that time duration of 3.5 hours, so that you all understand how it's like to experience the test really, and with lifetime access to recordings of our classes. So everything that we teach in our live classes is recorded, and we upload it on our student portal, and you get lifetime access to it. So let's say that you're giving the May attempt, but you're also planning to give the August attempt, and your batch is over, or whatever course you've taken with us is over. You can still always go back to these videos because you will have access to them. You can also go back to the concept videos that we provide. So you can always brush up on your concepts. And I think with this, I think I can get to the batch details without taking any further time. So our full course has 2 batches. First is the weekday batch, which is for 5 weeks. It starts on 5th of May. So it's like less than 10 days away. It's Monday to Friday, 6 to 7:30 p.m. with the weekend batch being for 8 weeks on Saturday, 6 to 8:30, and on Sundays, 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Having said all of that, there is a poll that I've just launched so that we get a better idea of, whether you're looking forward to join us, how can we provide you better, or whatever we're teaching in class is actually reaching to you and it's actually helpful for you. So let us know in the polls as well as in the chat box whether you all are understanding, whether it's helpful, whether you're liking, enjoying your time here or not. And at Leap, we guarantee that your entire syllabus will be covered in the course with a lot of quality that is provided. We also have testimonials from our students as well. And we have, if you wait till the end of the masterclass, I'll take you through all the universities that our students have gotten admission to. And most of those universities are top 20 universities in the world. So I think you understand what kind of quality we're providing just by how much our students scored. So yes. And Aryan, you're saying love to join. So should I write down your name and forward it to my team so that they can contact you with further details? Let me know, Aryan. Also, guys who are interested in joining our course, please let us know if you'll be interested in joining our courses in the chat box while writing your name. And I've also mentioned down the contact details of our team. So if you feel like you want to talk to our team about further details, you can contact us on these numbers as well as on this email. And Aryan, you said you would love to join our course. So should I write down your name and forward it to my team? They'll guide you further with it. I want to join June. All right, Aryan, that can also be done. And hello, Ashik. In May I have exams. Cool, Aryan, it's fine. Works. Okay.
Yes, Ashik, you can please ask your questions. I think Ashik was raising his hand. So, Ashik, yeah, please, you can
Yeah.
write it down in the chat box and we will be answering it.
Also, one more thing I'd like to suggest, Ian, is if you take a weekend batch just for 8 weeks, which I think is going to be manageable with your exams, it's going to be beneficial because the earlier you start with your preparation of SATs, the better it is because you get more time to practice your full length mock test. There are 33 that we provide you as well as extra. We also have like 400 plus worksheets that we provide you with, practice questions as well. So the earlier you start your preparation, the better that is. So yeah. All right. So guys, just a reminder, please give us your polls. There are still 3 people who haven't yet given us your answers. And in 20 seconds, I'll let you all continue with your math questions and not disturb you all. And if anyone's interested in joining our course, please let us know in the chat box. Okay. I think we can go further with it, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, so let's move on and let's talk about few more questions and learn some cool tips and tricks. Okay. Now, this is the question here on the board. And the question goes like the parabolic curve represented by the equation is which one? Oh, good to see that. Thank you so much, Ashik. Our objective is to, make you learn and keep on giving these kind of sessions. In fact, you are going to enjoy our classes more. That's my words. Because, these classes are just meant like, I'm not teaching you anything, I'm not going to teach you from base because I know I have only, let's say half an hour to just take all these questions on the screen. So just like to tell you what kind of questions comes, how you need to do, what kind of approaches is required to get them cracked. So these are the things that we do in these classes. In our original classes, you get to learn from the basics, everything, and then you move on to the shortcuts. So yes, moving on to this question, the parabolic curve represented by the equation. Who is going to give me the answer? I'm still waiting quickly. A question from SAT, official question. Okay. No answers? Okay, so I think if you can write down something here, which I'm going to explain you, that will be helpful for you. It is going to be very, very, very helpful for you. Okay, so please make a note of it. Looking at this equation, it is very clear it's a quadratic equation, right? And students, you can always compare a quadratic equation with y equal to ax square plus bx plus c form. This is called the standard form of the equation. Okay. And in this, if you just compare here with ax square plus bx plus c, what is a here? Just compare this. A is -1. -1 means a is negative. So always keep in mind that whenever a is negative, in this case, whenever a is negative, you always gonna have a downward parabola. So what kind of parabola you get? Downward. Make this note. When a is positive, you get an upward parabola. And if the quadratic equation has negative a, it's a downward. So definitely it can't be option A. It cannot be your option D because these are the upward parabola. Now, out of C and B, if you want to look, which is going to be the curve, so you can just look for the y-intercept of the parabola. So in order to find the y-intercept of any curve, what you need to do? So whenever we talk about the y-intercept, we know that it is the point where the curve is intersecting the y-axis and there the x value is 0. So all you need to do is in this equation, you just need to put x value as 0. So the y-intercept will come out to be 7, right? So you were only having option B and D, which were downward parabola, right? And in which parabola the y-intercept is at 7. In B, the y-intercept is 5, right? This is the y-intercept. So it is not the answer. In option C, the y-intercept is 7. So that is your answer, right? So I told you two things here. I just want to just say it again. So the thing is, whenever you get any quadratic equation, you always need to compare it with ax square plus bx plus c form. And looking at the a term, if a is positive, it is the upward parabola. If a is negative, it's a downward parabola. The second thing that you can look on always for any curve is the y-intercept of the curve, because that is easy to find. All you need to do is put the x value 0 and you get the y-intercept. And that is how you can figure out, right? Okay, coming to this question now. Yes, Ashik, if you have any questions, you can please write it in the box and I will be happily answering it. So this question goes like, if B is a negative constant and C is a positive constant, which of the following could be the graph of y equal to minus bx plus c? Again, it's a SAT question. A very simple question, which is the graph of this, knowing that B is a negative constant and C is a positive constant. How many answers are coming? Let's see in the chat box. I can also give you hint in between. Like looking at this equation here, you can say, okay, that's a linear equation, right? It's a form of linear equation, isn't it? And linear equation gives you a line. What kind of curve you get from linear equation? Line. What kind of curve you get from a quadratic equation? Parabola. So quadratic gives you parabola, linear gives you line, but all the answers A, B, C, D here are in the form of line. Now, how to identify that which line is going to be represented by this curve or by this equation? Sorry. Okay, so the first thing that I told you, that the first thing that you can do is just find the y-intercept. And in order to find the y-intercept of any curve, all you need to do is just put the x value to 0, right? Because whenever you talk about y-intercept, the x value at y-intercept is 0. So if you put x value as 0 into this equation, you get y equal to c. And knowing that c is a positive constant, it's a positive constant, which means the y-intercept of the line has to be on the positive side. Yes or no? So we can eliminate option C, because here the y-intercept is on the negative side, which is -4. So, and we can also eliminate option B, because here also the y-intercept is a negative, but we know that y-intercept has to be positive. So it has to be one out of A and D. Now, how will you judge between A and D? So any equation of a line can be compared with y equal to mx plus c. This is the standard form. You can say that. Or you can also call it as the slope intercept form. Okay. So what is m here? M is the slope. M is the slope of the line. Okay. So if you compare this equation with y equal to mx plus c, you say, what is m here? Tell me, guys, what is m here? Compare this equation with y equal to mx plus c, which is the slope intercept form. So m is nothing but minus b, right? And what is m? M is the slope. Knowing that b is a negative constant. B is a negative constant. Negative constant means b can be any negative number. For example, -2. So the slope will come out to be minus of b, and b is a negative number. Let's say -2. So slope will come out to be +2. So finally, one thing is for sure, that the slope of the line is positive. And if the slope of the line is positive, line always runs in upward direction, not in a downward direction. So you can eliminate option D. It has to be option A. If slope is positive, again, I'm repeating for everyone, if slope of a line is positive, line is always going to run in the upward direction rather than in the downward direction. For a negative slope, the line will run in the downward direction. So this line has a negative slope, right? And this line has a positive slope. So looking at the direction of the line, you can identify positive or negative. Hello, Komal. Hi, good to see you. So I hope you are getting it. And I'm also expecting, in case you have any doubt, you can ask me. Okay. And now comes one more question here on the board. These all questions that I'm taking are SAT questions. This is fx equal to 3x plus 5 So the question goes like, the figure shows the graph of the function defined by this. And definitely, I think now you can easily recognize it's a linear function, of the form y equal to mx plus b. It's a linear function, right? And linear function gives you a line. And that is why the graph shows you a line. So the graph of the function for all non-negative values of x is shown to you. For which of the following functions defined for all real number does the graph of h will intersect the graph of fx? So basically the question is like, for which of the following function graph is going to intersect the graph of fx? And again, I can give you a hint that all these functions which are given to you in the answers, they all are linear functions. And which means the kind of curve that you get from all these functions is nothing but line. Linear functions or linear equation always gives you a line. So which of the following functions is going to intersect the graph of fx? How many of you feel like it's a difficult question and cannot be solved within 30 seconds? I can say that this question can be solved if you know the right way. You can solve this question in 10 seconds. Yes, guys, come on, so show something. You're not answering anything. So how many of you feel like that it's a difficult one? Pushpak, D. Pushpak, good to know. Can you also mention the reason of saying D? Somewhat, if you can easily write it in the chat box. Why do you think it should be D? Okay, so I think let me teach you now, and you can even make a note. So one thing is for sure that the function fx is a linear function, and any linear function can be compared with y equal to mx plus b. So if you compare this with y equal to mx plus b, what is m here? For function fx, what is the slope? M is nothing but 3, right? And what is m? M is the slope, which means the slope is of the line is known to us. Now coming to option A, if you look for option A is again a linear function. And if you compare it with y equal to mx plus b or c, whatever you say, b or c stands for y-intercept or b also stands for y-intercept. You know, there can be different notations in different book. So if you compare it with this, so m is what? M is 1, which means slope is 1. And what is c here? C is nothing but 3. Which means this is a line which is having a y-intercept of 3, and a slope of 1. And what does slope represent, guys? Slope is nothing but the steepness of the line. So slope is 1, and this function fx has a slope of 3, which means fx has to be more steeper than the line which you get from option A. So this will be something like this. It will not be as steep as the function fx because fx slope is more. If slope is more, the steepness is more. And that is why it is not going to intersect it anywhere. So it can't be option A. Similarly, if you look for option B, the slope here is 2, right? The slope is 2. And the y-intercept is 3, which means, again, this is a line which is having a y-intercept of 3 and the slope of 2, which means it will be something like this, but not as steep as fx, right? So it will also not be intersecting. So on that basis, I think that now you can say that the only line that can intersect this fx is a line which will have a greater slope, which is option D, because here the slope is 5 and the y-intercept is 1. Okay, so it will be having a y-intercept of 1 and slope is 5, which means it will be more steeper than fx. So it will be like this, more steeper line. So it will intersect it, right? So the option is D. Now, if you know this way, I think you can easily answer all these kind of questions within 10 seconds. Yes or no? What do you say? Isn't it making sense logically that how to relate slope with the steepness of the line, how to look for the y-intercept? So these are the basic things that you should know. And if you know this, you will ace in SAT. That are my words. Okay. So this is what we teach you in the classes, and this is how we teach you in the classes. Okay. If you have any questions, anything, please put it up in the chat box. And someone was asking me that what is a good book. So let me tell you, if you are looking for a good book and a reliable book for SAT, then you can buy Kaplan book. But if you are coming to us, then you don't need to buy. So it should not be like that you already buy it and then you come to us. If you are planning to come to us, then you don't need to buy, because we give you the Kaplan book from our side. Otherwise, you can buy Kaplan book. Okay. So Ume, can you please come up and take it over?
Yeah, and I'd just like to add a few things. So, like sir mentioned, this is just masterclass. It's a glimpse of teaching you all or brushing up through concepts. But in our real classes, we start with the basics and we make sure that you understand all concepts that are, coming up in SATs. This is just one of the concepts. And second of all, yes, Kaplan SAT prep guides are home delivered to you. You don't have to go in search of it. You don't have to buy it. It's going to come with the course. So it is literally going to be on your doorstep. Now, before we move further to, everything else in our UG counseling, there's also one more poll that I would like you all to address. And that's literally about rating this session. It's about, you liked it, it was okay, you didn't get much from the session. Let us know. Let us know in the polls. It's important. Your feedback matters and we value it. Coming to the UG counseling slides, so if we could move to the next slide. Yeah. So LEAP does not only provide SAT courses, but we also provide counseling, which I think is very advisable if, you want someone to actually guide you to your dream school. You know your destination, but sometimes you might get confused with what path you have to take just to reach that destination. I think that is what our counselors are here to do. I would like to take you all and explain what all comes under our counseling programs. So profile building. Pragati will come back to your question. Just give me a minute. Profile building is the first thing that we help you with. So 50% of your entire profile is academics, but it's just 50% of it. You can't get into, amazing universities just through your SAT scores or just through your, 10th and 12th board exam. Profile building is about extracurriculars, about achievements, about other courses and internships that you've done. So at LEAP, we also help you get those extra courses that you would like to do. We also help you acquire internships and summer programs abroad so that your profile is built and so that you can stand out from the crowd, which is very important for competitive colleges. Coming to college shortlisting, that is best suited for you. So basically, most of you must have, looked for colleges or started looking for colleges, and you might have been confused about what should be my priority college, or how should I make a list and how should I note down all the colleges that are actually will support my career or will support the field that I'm looking forward to. So that is also something we do. We sit with you, our counselors sit with you and help you build a college list with help in SOP, essays and LORs. So SOPs are basically essays that you'll have to provide to your college before admissions, and we give you access to SOP essays that are written by Ivy League alumni, and we also sit down and help edit your SOP essays. So I think that helps. And Mamsi, you're telling me to slow down. All right, I'll slow down. We also provide advisory on scholarship and financial guidance. So basically what that means is, if you talk about abroad education, it is expensive relatively for Indian students as well. So we also help you acquire scholarships. We also help you get a list of scholarships that you can apply to and what are the requirements. We help you with the requirements. We also help you with financial guidance. We can acquire financial aid for you. There is another sort of team that sits with you and helps you through financial guidance. And the last point, which is the most important point, is visa assistance. So if you're planning to go abroad for studies, you'll obviously have to give visa interviews, and there's a lot of documentation process that goes on, specifically for US and Canadian universities. So our team helps you get mock interviews. Our team sits with you, telling you about how to further go ahead with these interviews, as well as visa documentation. Everything that you will require, every document that needs to be compiled will be helped upon by our team as well. And coming to the next slide, I would want to introduce one of our counselors. So we have a panel of counselors. There are many Harvard alumni or Ivy League alumni with us. One of them is Aryan. She's on your screen right now. So Aryan is an alumni of Harvard University herself, and she's from our team of admissions counselors, who is also an alumni of Georgetown University. And for those of you all who don't know, Harvard is an Ivy League college, and Harvard is one of the top schools in the world. It ranks third, and Georgetown University ranks at the ninth position in the global rankings. It's one of the best schools you can ever get into. And she's also a board member of Harvard Alumni Entrepreneurs. So Aryan is a counselor who can really, really help you get to your dream college. And coming to the next slide. So, like I mentioned, there are a panel of mentors, and I'll just brush past which colleges they belong to. So Yale, Princeton, Brown, these all are Ivy League colleges, and our mentors are from Ivy League college. Purdue University is one of the top ranking universities in the world. University of California is an amazing university to study from, and Stanford University. So Stanford is not an Ivy League college, but Stanford ranks second in the position of world global rankings for universities. So I'm pretty sure you must have heard of these names. Coming to the next slide, I think this is a slide that is important for all of you. These are the colleges that our students have been admitted into. Our students who are taught by our faculty, who are guided by our counselors, have gotten into Yale, have gotten into Wharton. Yale is again an Ivy League college, have gotten into UC Berkeley, which is one of the best colleges in the world. New York University as well. We've gotten people to Emory University, to Duke University, to Rice, to Northwestern universities, to Cornell. So Cornell is an Ivy League college, and Cornell, nothing beats Cornell education. Cornell is one of the best known universities in the world. UC San Diego, University of Illinois, UC Davis. All of these names mentioned here, I need you all to understand that these are the top 20 colleges in the world. Nothing beats education from this college. And if you're serious about your career, then I advise that either you start looking into it seriously, or either you come to us and our counselors will make sure that you reach these colleges, if nothing short of less than these colleges. So I think I just summed up our UG counseling program. And just a reminder to please give the poll, guys. And now we can get back to, if there are any questions you'd all like to ask. Oh, sorry. Oh, absolutely forgot about the next slide. So yeah, there are 3 mentorship programs. First is the IB advising program, where we guarantee that, we help you through sorting out Ivy League colleges, as well as getting advised by an Ivy League counselor, by an alumni of Ivy League colleges itself. So that's for 2 years. Then we have a global advising program, where there's end-to-end surface from your profile building to your visa. You'll have, everything that I just explained. All of that comes under global advising. Elite advising programs is about shortlisting colleges, profile building, internships, career opportunities, college listings. All of that also comes under elite programs. The prizes are on your screen, guys. So I suggest that you all do take up counseling. It really does, help. And who better to guide you than someone who's already graduated from the top 20 colleges in the world? They know everything in and out. So, yeah. Also, since we've just summed up everything that we had to say from our side, I would like to open the floor for any questions that you all have. Any questions at all that pop up in your head regarding colleges, SETs, applications, type that in the chat box. And if you're interested in joining either our full course or joining our counseling programs, please type down your names so that my team can contact you further about it. Meanwhile, I'm also typing down the contact details of our team. So if you want to get in touch with any of us, you can ping us on this email or number. Yeah. Also, there was a question earlier in the chat box, I think by Pragati. I'm interested, but in which grade should I take the exam? So Pragati, there is no eligibility criteria for SET exams. You can take them whenever you wish to. We would advise 10th graders and 11th graders to specifically take the exam, because that's when you have the maturity of solving all the questions that come up on the test. So yeah, but it's not like that, because SET scores are valid for the next 5 years. So even if you start taking them in 9th standard, it's still going to be valid till you actually reach college. So SET scores are valid for 5 years. You don't have to worry about when you have to take it. All you have to worry about is to get prepared for the exam. I hope that answered it, Pragati. Any other questions, guys? If not, then we can end the session. I'll just give you all 30 seconds to type in your questions. If there are any questions, I'll take them up, or we could end. This is the opportunity to ask any doubt you have regarding anything that relates to your career. Okay. All right, there are no questions. Anyone who has a question, just type in the question or just say yes, and then I'll give you time to type in the question. Okay, seems like all of you are pro at it. Since there are no questions, we would like to end the session here. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Hope you all had a wonderful session with us. Hope you all enjoyed and hope you all learned something new today. And see you all at our next master classes, which is every day at 4, or see you all directly at our counseling or our ICT Plus course. We'd love to see you all there. Till then, take care of yourselves and have a wonderful evening ahead. Thank you.